No.
CTE stands for Career Education.
It stands for
I've always known it as CTE. My husband's like, what is on the calendar? Why does it say CTE? And I'm like, because I have CTE.
Is it continuous in technical education? All right, it's no.
Career Technical Education.